Go Twitches. Go Twitches. Okay. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to talk about Twitches. Twitches is a 2005 Disney Channel original movie. It's directed by Stuart, Gillard, cinematography by Manfred Guthe? Guthe? I don't know. Editing by Robin Russell, music by John Van Tongeren. And it's written by Melissa Gould and Dan Berendsen. This is based off a book by H.B. Gilmore and Randy Reisfeld. This movie and Twitches 2 are based off the first book in that series called The Power of Two. And every single summary I found was like 2 sentences and sounded like the movie, so. The film stars Tia Mowry-Hardrict as Alex, Tamera Mowry-Housley as Cameron, Kristen Wilson as Miranda, Patrick Fabian as Thantos, Jennifer Robertson as Ileana, and Pat Kelly as Karsh. Tia and Tamera were actually supposed to play opposite roles, but they ended up asking to be switched, and this was filmed in Canada. Also, kind of on another similar note to that, Tia ended up playing both characters. I forgot the reason, but there's a very brief moment at the Halloween party where Tia plays Tamera's character Cameron for a brief stint, and I've always been able to tell Tia and Tamera apart. Even when I was really young watching Sister Sister, I could tell who was who. I had no problem. Unlike like Mary-Kate and Ashley, I still to this day couldn't tell you who was who. Dylan and Cole, I could tell you who's who, for sure, easy peasy. Where Tia and Tamera, I was easiest. I've always been able to tell them apart. And it always bothered me that in that scene, Tia is playing Cameron. And I was like, where the heck's Tamera? Why is Tia playing this person? I'm confused. And just recently, Tamera gave an explanation and I totally forgot what it was. The cinematography is such high quality for a DCOM. I look back, what was the most recent live action DCOM I just watched? Was it Go Figure? Because cinematography quality compared to that? Yikes. This quality is insane compared to some of the DCOMs we've been having. We've had some nicer quality DCOMs, but this was like full tilt movie, well, I wouldn't say movie quality, but it was really high quality, like lighting and movement and all that kind of stuff. And then like the effects weren't as high quality as they could be, but they definitely were not as bad as they've been in recent past. The darkness could have been way worse. The magic could have been way worse. All of it could have been infinitely worse. It was enough for me to suspend my disbelief and be in on the movie. So just visually, this was like superior to a lot of DCOMs we've been having. The score is really good and actually pretty recognizable. What I totally forgot was Into the Rush by Allie and AJ was in this movie, and I watched this with Mariah. I asked Mariah if she wanted to watch it with me because we both loved Twitches, and she had just recently talked about it, and I was like, I have to watch Twitches, do you want to come watch it with me? So she decided to watch it with me, and Into the Rush came on, and we were both like, Into your sunlight again. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Rushing through your head, Can you feel it? Can you feel it? One of the biggest things I think I took away as an adult seeing this was that Cameron lived at home at 21. Which I feel like for a long time it's always portrayed that like, oh, when you're 18 you gotta get out. Which is just, like, not fair and not cute. You want to set your kids up for success, so they don't have to, like, be living in the most horrible debt and squandered and all that kind of stuff. So, still living at home at 21, let's normalize that. Love that for us. Also, there are 2 parent deaths in this movie, Alex's mom, and then both of their biological father, Aaron, passed away. And then what I thought was really interesting is that in this movie, they meet each other in a clothing store, and that's how they meet each other in Sister Sister. So I thought that was really funny that they kind of paid homage to Tia and Tamera's very famous show Sister Sister by having them meet in a store. And then Thantos, always been creepy, always will be creepy. I don't think Patrick Fabian can play a good guy. Like, that's my opinion. Patrick Fabian, I think I just will always associate with being a villain, so if I ever see him in something that he's, like, a good guy, I'm gonna be like, no, you're, like, typecasted villain, sorry, that's your life. Tia, Tamera, and Kristen act for their lives in this movie when it comes to the crying scenes. They're so good and so genuine in those crying scenes. Especially Alex and Miranda being reunited, and then Alex and Cameron's like crying the opposite of darkness isn't light, it's love, and then being like, I love my mom, my parents, my grandparents, you know, my friend Lucinda, my sister. Their tears, so good, so amazing. And then Kristen Wilson just crying about her children the entire movie, just act for her life, so good. I would venture a guess that like 90 to 95% of this movie is ADR. ADR. I've talked about ADR in the past, but I know if you love Twitches and this is your first movie review you've seen of mine, so for those of you who've heard me explain this, just bear with me. ADR stands for automated dialogue replacement, and this is something built into actors' contracts when they make a movie, is that they're expected to, like during the editing process, when they kind of have, you know, a picture lock, if there's any dialogue that is damaged or just doesn't sound right or needs to be fixed or anything like that because it just wasn't recorded well enough on the day, actors go in and do automated dialogue replacement, ADR. And this is also happening at the same time as other sound design like Foley and all that kind of stuff. So basically the actors go in and they re-record lines that maybe didn't sound, like the sound quality was actually bad, like the boom mic didn't pick it up and their lav like malfunctioned, whatever it might be. Lav is lavalier microphone, and it's the one they wear on their person. A boom microphone is a microphone like that one. Except a boom operator like holds it above the scene, so they're getting like blanket sound for the audio. And a lot of the time, the goal of ADR is to place it back into its environment so well you can't tell that it's ADR. And ADR can be really well done that you would never know in a million years that it's ADR. But then there's ADR that is so blatantly ADR, which is 90 to 95% of this movie. I think they filmed outside a lot in Canada, which a lot of the time, if you're filming outside, almost always, you're probably going to end up doing ADR for that. Everything where they're talking on a street is re-recorded, and you can just tell based on the tonal quality of it, they struggled putting it back in its city environment, like adding whatever it needed to sound like it's back in a city. It just sounds re-recorded, and there were a couple that didn't super match the lips well enough that were also very obviously ADR. I would actually venture to say that a lot of the stuff in Coventry in the castle is probably potentially the sound that was there, because that was obviously a closed set where everything, you know, outside was outside and probably needed to be re-recorded. But the ADR was rampant and very noticeable in this movie. Mariah kept being like, yo, this entire movie's ADR. And I was like, yes. Yeah. It wasn't so bad that it like wasn't matching the lips, and I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. It was just very noticeable that it was re-recorded. I loved this when I was young. I loved anything Tia and Tamera touched when I was younger. I loved Sister. I loved 17 Again. I loved this. And it holds up pretty well. It has some cringier scenes. It has some cringier moments. But, you know, it's made for an age range that flies. But also, I buy it. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the cringier stuff because some of the other stuff is such high quality and high caliber. Like, their acting is really well done, so I can't be mad that some of the stuff is a little cringe and a little childish, even though they're supposed to be 21 years old. You know what I mean? Like, I can believe it. I can, like, love it, and it's sweet and cute, and, I really enjoy this movie. I don't have a lot to say. I think Thantos is creepy as heck, as always. And I miss Tia and Tamera. I need to watch some of their like Hallmark Christmas movies that they've been in. I need to watch some of their stuff. That's everything I have for Twitches. Mariah's final rating is 6 out of 10. And my final rating is 6 little sun, moon, amulet things out of 10. Our total movie count is. Our parent death toll is. My count is still the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on Instagram or Twitter. You'll find out what movie I'm watching when. I put out videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. I put out the $1 tier that you get every video a week early, and you get a coupon code for merch, and then the tiers above that you get daily trivia, weekly random facts, monthly podcasts, monthly postcards, bonus content, Patreon requests, whatever and everything over there, so go. Buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. We love to see it. Until next time, come on, subscribe. I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so do you. And don't be Thanos/the darkness about it. Also, just for the record, so y'all know, I'm filming this on November 15th. Bye!